The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on the Canna Connect show belong solely to the individuals and do not reflect those of Canna Connect and its affiliates, sponsors, or partners. Canna Connect does not promote or facilitate any activity that violates state or federal regulations. Everything you hear here is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal advice, it is not financial guidance, and it's definitely not medical direction. Seriously, don't take our word for it. Even if someone on the mic sounds like they know what they're talking about, and they're probably crazy smart too. Regardless of how legit our guests may be, you should always do your own homework, consult with your attorney, and understand the risk you're taking before you do anything when it comes to cannabis. Our intention is to keep it real. If you've got a problem with anything we've said, take us to court.
Welcome back to the Canna Connect show. I'm your host, Stephen Eigenman. We are day 2, live from Lucky Leaf. Shout out to Open Window Productions. They've been holding us down all weekend. Shout out to Mesfin from Elite Capture Studio. This is our last interview of the day. I'm here with Dan and Alex of Rank Really High. We might not get really high, but we're going to rank really high. Let's get into it. How do you rank really high? What all goes into the services you provide?
Well, there's a lot actually. So
We've got time.
most dispensaries don't spend a lot. They spend a lot of time getting products on their menu, but they don't spend a lot of time making their menu visible to consumers who are using the internet to find products, which is every consumer out there, basically.
No doubt.
So the first thing we do is we jailbreak the iframe and make the entire e-commerce experience native, meaning that all the strains, all the terps, all the cannabinoids, all the brands, all the products are immediately visible on your website sitemap, living on your website. The next thing we do is we develop content to localize the brand, because most dispensary customers don't actually know the products that are in stock. They're not Googling them. They're looking for a dispensary near me, dispensary near our town.
Oh, yeah.
You need to unlock all that content as well. So we marry all that into one experience.
And why is it important to jailbreak the iPhone? Why is it important to jailbreak the iFrame?
You want to take that one?
Absolutely.
But he was a former retailer before he joined us.
Yes. There's a little anecdote here, which is Dan and I first met when I was running the Heirloom Collective. Yes, best relationship I've yet built.
Wow.
I was running the Heirloom
I'm
Collective.
going to tell that to Dan's wife.
She already knows.
Fair enough. She does already know. But yeah, I was a co-founder of one of the first craft verticals in Massachusetts, called the Heirloom Collective.
Okay.
And this was at a time back in 2019, 2020, weed naps, leaf flea, touchy iframes. That was pretty much all that was available. I was introduced to Dan, and I had a simple request, which was just make my menu look like it's mine. Just give it colors, make it look like it's part of my website, because everything looks generic. That very quickly turned into me understanding what native e-commerce was.
Wow.
Dan very politely informed me, hey man, you're spending a lot of time on product descriptions, names, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Would you be sad if I told you Google's not seeing any of that work?
Yes,
So all
it would
of
be.
these-
Dan knew the answer to that question.
100%. And
I pretended to know.
proceeds to open up the sitemap of the website and show me how little content was actually on my website. And so
That could actually be seen and ranked.
They could actually be seen.
Exactly. So there are a lot of design agencies. Hey, they build a really pretty website.
They do.
Last time I checked, a website was designed to grow sales, not just to look pretty.
Right.
So when Dan developed native e-commerce with Rank Really High, I was an early adopter. I was the third client, and the numbers speak for themselves.
Wow.
That's really what it's all about. Is
And this was pandemic era cannabis.
Pandemic, we actually opened-
Post-pandemic.
Yep, we opened our first medical dispensary during the pandemic, and I only could do curbside. So think of that environment. My website's all I have. I can't go anywhere, advertise, do anything. So I was leaning entirely on that to get visibility. All the other marketing I was doing was falling short.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was doing. So there's another component about Rank, which is it allowed me to visualize my entire customer funnel. So if you're using an iframe, you can see kind of where your traffic's coming from, but once they hit the menu, they disappear. You're losing the best data you have to understand the actual clientele coming through your doors.
Right.
So using a fully native solution, connected all with APIs, you can actually visualize the entire customer funnel down to product level data visibility in your Google Analytics.
Okay. Now, Alex, I want to stay there as from an operator perspective. Like,
Sure.
tell me a little bit more about all the other things that, all the other quiet parts as it relates to getting your brand seen and being able to rank really high.
Sure. So the first thing, and this is kind of at Rank now, being on the sales side for 2.5 years at Rank, I've gotten to see the other side of this, which is really when a brand is trying to make itself visible or a retailer opens up trying to drive business, a serious marketing calendar that respects the best tools that they have, which is deals, specials, initiative, loyalty. That's what's important to consumers. And unfortunately, people might click the about us, but most people don't care. They're there to buy a pre-roll. They want a gummy. They're on a lunch break. They don't have time. So for me, a great marketing calendar and understanding how you're positioning yourself is a fundamental of really getting to market, and also having a big wholesale presence. If you're a brand, getting in other retailers, telling the world, but all of that falls short if you don't have the technological levers to actually be able to push and pull that on your website. So if you can't create a shoppable homepage where you can have inventory and tell your customers what you want them to see, that marketing calendar is great, but it's very hard to communicate that.
Go look at any website in cannabis, and then go look at Target, Best Buy, Whole Foods, Amazon. It's a much different experience, and we're not sure why that is. It should be a consistent shopping experience. That's what customers are looking for: ease of use, product visibility. They want to know what's selling, what they should be trying, seasonality. These are all things that cannabis dispensaries completely miss today.
Okay, and marketing's a 9-letter word, but tell me what all Rank Really High offers. Like, when it comes to marketing calendar, what's within the suite of services that Rank Really High provides and what's not? Because you can't do everything.
No, and you really shouldn't do everything. I'm glad I can see my booth for you. I can just read you what we do. No, we build a website that's e-commerce first, e-commerce focused, e-commerce forward. We teach our dispensary partners how to work with the brands they're already selling, to collaborate with them, let them advertise on the homepage throughout the website menu, work with them on content. Like, cannabis has such a unique situation where a brand can't, for the most part, go directly to a consumer. They have to go through an intermediary called a dispensary, and a lot of dispensaries are inept at actually marketing that brand effectively. So getting the dispensary to be able to allow these channels to the brand, there's revenue opportunities, there are passive income opportunities there, and there's opportunities to work closer together, get better wholesale rates. Like, we're really just doing the things that companies like Target and Best Buy taught us to do: work with the brands you're already selling.
There's another element too, which is our digital strategy team. So
tell me more.
For each one of our clients, we assign them a digital strategist from our team. And these are all people that have cannabis specific marketing backgrounds. So as most people have found out, they're starting a dispensary, you go to generic marketing agency A.
It's a good way to get burned.
Yeah. You end up training them. So you end up being an unpaid employee of their company, training them how to get more clients.
And there's a bill at the end of the month.
100%, $500 for a half an hour.
Bill.
Right? So, and that was actually, I won't name names, but the first agency we picked at Heirloom, they had big corporate accounts. These guys were behemoths when it came to cannabis, all of those. Totally clueless, didn't know anything, and didn't know how to actually
They were marketing you guys like you were a little like you guys were a big luxury brand.
I'll put it this way: we were an antique furniture store when I first launched my website. That was basically because we were called the Heirloom Collective, which is great because it's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But really, we had to make that brand forward, and it wasn't working. So, for me, at least, digital strategy, kind of pivoting back to that, the digital strategist component is the person that's consulting for you personally to say, hey, we have 200 plus clients. We have a wealth of global data. We know what works. We've A/B tested where to place a featured brand slider. We've done all this. So we have a personal touch that for each client in their given market, we're able to kind of advise them and consult them on exactly how to be the most successful.
Oh, wow.
Any asshole can build you a website and slap an iframe on it.
For sure.
We teach you how to use that website to better your business and to forward your business and to generate more revenue and income, whether it be just selling more pot or actually attracting more people who want to sell pot through you. There's opportunities galore within those areas.
Okay. Dan, what's your relationship like with artificial intelligence?
We have a very platonic relationship right now. We're working on it. We're in marriage. No, it's been great. We've been using AI in a couple different ways. We use AI we've really fed AI with our ideal customer profile. So we're now connecting with and reaching out to dispensaries that have a higher likelihood of seeing value in our services. That's one way we're using AI.
You want to find the people that are more attracted to you in the first place.
Yeah, I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't want my time wasted. I don't want to waste your time. So we're finding a better customer through AI and intelligence and analytics. Like, we're doing all that.
Yeah.
We also have agentic outreach where we're helping to fill his calendar, my calendar, with more appointments and demos by having AI reach out to these people and get a meeting scheduled.
Yeah.
But on the customer side, who we're doing with our clients, we're connecting Agentic to their website so that it can actually analyze their entire inventory, see what's selling and further promote it, but also see what's not selling, Steven, and promote that because that needs to go.
Right.
If that expires, cannabis is weird. You can't just like throw expired product in the dumpster out back. You gotta like hazmat that shit.
God.
So it's unacceptable to like let products spoil on your shelves. You have to promote it.
The
So we
bottom
do
of the
that.
barrel has to be sold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one thing on the AI concept, which has been something that fascinates me.
Yeah.
There are a lot of companies that are like, oh, we're doing the AI, this and that.
Yeah, I think.
But really, it's about intentional and thoughtful applications of AI because there are steps of the process where you could totally turn off a customer using that, where
I agree.
you don't have it set up properly or you're using it too much to replace the human element that really should be there.
I know.
So I think we're trying to be very tactful in the way that we're applying it
Good.
and ensuring that the fundamental efficacy of the experience is not interfered with.
And we're not using AI to replace people at our company. We're using AI to enable them and enhance their capabilities. Like we don't think that AI is in a place right now where it can just replace jobs across the board. We think it needs a good operator to like work with it and train it and adjust it to be successful. If you just unleash AI, it's gonna be a disaster.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, you're the CEO of the company. What were you doing prior to Rank Really High?
I had started two other SaaS companies, one in the automotive space, actually operating here in Minnesota, pardon me.
Yeah,
In
Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Dealer Teamwork. We were the first company to basically, when someone was Googling Grand Cherokee lease, actually be able to fire an ad into Google advertising that would say, we have Grand Cherokees. You can lease one for $129 a month or $339 with zero down.
Yeah.
Before that, when you Googled Grand Cherokee lease, all the ads said, we're a dealership. We have Grand Cherokees. Once they clicked that ad, we went to a page on the dealership's website that promoted how to get that offer, how to qualify. We were the first ones doing that.
Right.
We spun that off a few years later and did the exact same thing in the home services space.
Okay.
When people type in plumber today, they have no idea if they can trust the plumber or afford the plumber. We put pricing forward on those ads as well. It's also another Minnesota-based company called Camp Digital I'm a co-founder of. Yeah, we were just basically doing the same thing we're doing in cannabis, but in other verticals previously.
All right. So make the connection a little bit more clear for me. Where did the light bulb go off? You're in digital marketing in the auto industry, in the home services industry. I understand you went back to Massachusetts at 2020 during the pandemic, but give me that light bulb moment where it made sense to build Rank Really High.
Gosh, I'll tell you the exact day. It was November 20th, 2018. It was the day that rec sales went online in Massachusetts. I was living here in Minnesota. I was in our offices on 7500 Flying Cloud Road.
Yeah.
And I was in a meeting. I was bored out of my mind. I have the ADHD thing going. And I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing all my friends back home in Mass. They're all buying weed. They're all waiting in lines. It look like iPhone launch like lines.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane. This is crazy. I can't wait to go home for Christmas break and buy some legal weed. Then I went and looked at some of the websites that were selling this weed. I was like, we're using iframes. We're talking about our founders. Nobody goes to Walmart.com to learn about Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. They go to Wikipedia for that shit.
Yep.
So there's all this misplaced energy. That was on November 20th, 2018. I registered the domain Rank Really High,
Cool.
and I didn't do anything with it. I kept on top of the industry. I studied it, but I didn't actually like do anything with it until about the early beginning of about 2021. I was like, you know what? I'm jumping into this. I'm doing it.
Cool.
At the time, my mother was about to pass away. She was in hospice care. And when I left Minnesota to go back to Mass, some of my partners saw it as an opportunity to boot me out of my company. It's all good. You know, it's all good. But I started Rank Really High and I never looked back.
Before we go, I wanted to take some time to clear the room, to clear the air.
Yeah.
And I want you to be able to air some grievances as it relates to what you were seeing in 2021, 22, 23. Fast forward a couple years, there's pirates, both in Somalia and in the cannabis industry. What are some of the things that grind your gears as it relates to e-commerce and cannabis?
Well, there's a lot. A lot of the companies that really attracted us to work with them in the early days have now become very covetous. Instead of having open APIs or supporting open APIs, they're becoming more coveted and closed loop. They're making their retailers select them to do things that they're not qualified to do. Like, just because you know how to do the cash register doesn't mean you know how to do digital marketing, doesn't mean you know how to do loyalty and retention and mobile apps. I wish that they would continue to leave their APIs open
Yeah.
so that companies like mine and all of my competitors
Yeah.
can be competitive.
Who are some of your strongest competitors?
You know, honestly, some of the companies that went closed loop made a lot of my competitors not as competitive. So
And kudos to you guys for figuring out how to stay agile.
yeah.
Have to.
Right.
If I thought that some of these solutions would have made my dispensary partners $1 more per day, I would have done it.
Okay.
I didn't see that as a possibility, so I had to say no, and I don't regret it.
And so who plugs in, who are some really good partners for Rank Really High as it relates to the connected ecosystem?
For POS, we love Kova, we love FlowHub, we love Alpine IQ, Meadow. I mean, a lot of the guys that were here, Kova.
Let's talk about Alpine IQ, because I don't know much about him, but I know Jeremy Johnson.
Yep.
And it seems like they know what they're doing over there.
I think that Nick Pascal and Wes Pascal are very smart and talented operators. They do know what they're doing. They make smart acquisitions. They buy good companies, and then they continue to let those companies flourish because they don't get in the way of their progress, and they continue to let them support their customers as they're used to. So I think sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. Alpine IQ, what exactly is it compared to Rank Really High?
Well, they actually have some competitive products to us as well. They acquired a company that was also Boston-based
Okay.
called Dispense. That's where Jeremy came into the picture.
I see.
And, you know, the first call, I want to say the first call they made after they bought Dispense was to Rank Really High and said, hey, we want to integrate with you guys. We want to do this head listing that you've been doing with other companies in the space. And we said, you know, we'll do it, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the approach you prefer.
That is the approach that we prefer. You know, one of the things we use HubSpot for our CRM. One of the things I love about HubSpot is if I wanted to, in addition to the CRM, I could buy loyalty, I could buy a mobile app, chatbot. I buy a lot of stuff from them, but they don't make me buy those things. They allow us the ability and the optionality to do whatever the heck we want. And that's why I stay a HubSpot customer. It's not because of the bill. The bill is insane.
The bill is insane.
But the optionality is really good.
I would say HubSpot is the Microsoft Teams of email marketing software. Like,
That's not a bad way to look at it.
when you book a meeting with HubSpot, you know it's a HubSpot meeting.
Oh, yes, you do. And your customers do too. Your prospects do too. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before we wrap up, guys, we're in Minneapolis.
Yep.
We just finished Lucky Leaf. We're wrapping up. Like, what are you hoping to see more from inside the Minnesota cannabis market?
I would love to kick down the door with one of these operators and work with them. I'm second home is Minnesota. Love to work with someone in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
I just, you know, 3 years ago when we first came out to Lucky Leaf, it was sparse. I mean, the licenses were not issued.
Yep.
Last year I didn't come. He came. The
Yep.
licenses were still not really
Okay,
issued.
that's when we've met each other.
Yes. But now you guys are open for business. You're growing. I wish that they would speed up the accelerate more licenses being issued. I really hope they don't make the mistakes of New York City and Massachusetts and others and oversaturate the market so it's no longer competitive.
I hear you.
And
Yeah.
if I might add too, I think last year there was a ton of excitement. There was a ton of energy.
Yeah.
Nobody had anywhere to put it. There's no place to attribute. This year, people are getting moving. I will say the operator IQ is pretty high. The
Real high.
conversations that I've had, people have clearly taken lessons from previous states. They're clearly reading up. They understand the
Absolutely.
legislative framework. And in Mass from 2016 to 2018 was almost similar to this, where it's like people are paying out the ass to get bill outs done, all this different stuff.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get going. Now, my suspicion here is first slowly and then all at once. So with things like advertising guidelines, all this, you know, no offense to soccer moms, but soccer mom type legislation that's not actually really protecting
It's not
anybody.
effective.
It's actually holding back the retailers, which is holding back their tax revenue.
Yep.
So I think as soon as that becomes clear, the whole goal is don't go too crazy, but make sure that access is created because it's clear the demand is there. So if you're stalling that out for any reason, they might as well not have a program as far as that.
And something tells me that Minnesota's going to want some new tax revenue pretty soon. Call it a hunch.
Be my guess. Help balance that budget out a little bit. huh?
Too soon?
Too soon.
Sorry. Apologies.
Alex, on the sales side, if somebody wants to book a demo, get in touch with you. What's the best way to get in touch with Rank Really High?
So we have just on our website, rankreallyhigh.com, we have some great resources. So if you find yourself there, you can book a demo directly from that page. You can also shoot me an email directly. And my email is alex@rankreallyhigh.com. I love to have conversations. Even if you're not a potential client, I love to talk industry. I'm always learning from people and staying apprised. So
Amazing.
please do reach out after.
Cool. Dan, anything else you'd like to add to the people of
No,
Canna
Steven,
Connect?
I really enjoyed your event
Yes,
last
thank
night.
you.
This was
Thank you,
enjoyable as well. Like,
Appreciate
you guys are doing a great job and doing great things in the market. I hope you continue to do those things.
I appreciate it. Love to chat more. I enjoy the openness and the candidness, and let's continue to pull back those layers of iframes and jailbreak, and continue to do your own thing, right?
Yes.
Thanks, buddy.
Really appreciate it.
Good to meet
Yeah,
you guys.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Good to meet
Yep.
you.
We'll be back on the Canna Connect show.